Oh, no. We don't need a repeat of that music. Hello, 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 everyone. Dr. Rowena Winkler here, and thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. If this is your first time engaging with me, welcome, welcome, welcome. This inner child healing workshop was something that I had created. I think it was 2 years ago at this point. I mean, those pictures that I had on the slides of my daughter, she's definitely a three-nager now. So, yeah, and actually, I'm expecting my second. I have a little baby boy who is about to come join us Earthside any minute now. So it's been an amazing journey just seeing how in my own process with inner child work and inner child healing, how that has grown and deepened and expanded. And so with cancer season, we just got into Leo season, but I thought for cancer season, it was a great time to bring that back. And so that was the purpose of that. So real quick, I'm just going to hop on live Instagram because we're going to do a twofer as I've been doing with all of these. So let me just hop on live here really quickly. All righty, Roo. Let's move that a bit. Get our tech. Oh, if the tech works. If not, we might just go ahead. All right. Okay. So if you missed the workshop, it is now officially on my YouTube channel. So if you go to my YouTube channel, I created an inner child healing playlist where you'll get a chance to not only watch the workshop, get a get be able to see all of the goodies that were there. So, a workbook that dives into the inner child healing value tower that I created because again, Dr. Winkler always has to have some framework or some sort of structure because listen, I have an academic background. What can I say? We love our frameworks and our structures. So there's that. There's a workbook there. There are two meditations, one that I created a while back and the one that I was actually pulled from the workshop. So if you really got a lot out of that particular meditation where we talked about lineage and all that amazing stuff and how to reframe what has happened to us as children, that is there as well. And what else is there? Spotify playlist. So if you're like me and you like the music and you like to groove, that's there as well. And then a chance to work with me, whether that is to engage with me one-on-one with an intuitive reading, similar to the ones that I have done a couple weeks ago. So again, check out the YouTube channel or check out my lives here on Instagram to see what those are like, where I do some card pulls and whatnot, see what messages come through. We'll do a card pull right here today. And also, if you want to engage, in a deeper container in terms of like one-on-one coaching and that sort of stuff, that's available to you as well. So with that, let's go ahead and start with a card pull to just set the tone, set the mood, and then we'll see if there are any questions that have come up per the workshop, or even if you didn't get a chance to watch the workshop and you plan to watch the replay later. I think it's about a 40-minute video. Any questions just in general about inner child healing, and then we'll wrap things up with a special announcement, something that I'm a part of when it comes to being an entrepreneur and being able to step into your most authentic, vibrant, confident, now that we're in Leo season, self through a variety of resources in addition to something that I am providing as well. So that's the agenda. That's what we're doing today. And so our card pull for today is from this Sacred Destiny Oracle by Denise Lynn. This is my newest deck. It has been super powerful, super potent, and I can't get enough of it. I also have my tarot deck as well, so we'll see how we're feeling. Maybe we'll start with this and end with a little tarot spread. So why don't we go ahead and start with a little card pull to see. As my son, I'm a late third trimester prego lady right now, so baby is also engaging with us as well. Taking a bit. Oh, we got two. Got a twofer. Ooh. Oh, we got a 3. Okay. Well, guess that's what we wanted to come out. Um, and they're all P words. So clearly this is a new deck because it's not shuffled well enough. But you know what? I'm here for this. All right, I'm here for this. Let me treat this as like a nice little 3-card spread here. So the first card we have is whoop, potential. It's kind of backwards there. Potential. So when it comes to our inner child and our inner child healing work, what is the potential that we're tapping into? When we bypass, if we when we spiritually bypass, or we don't fully engage in perhaps some of that work, that healing work that needs to be done, we are passing up on our pure potential. We are we are we are bypassing the possibilities of us to reach our peak potential, and our our gifts and talents that can come in full force, right? Because I talked about this in the workshop. There are events that happen in our lives, right? And I know for me it was like, oh, you're too much, or you're too loud, or you're not enough, blah blah blah, right? And those things dim our light. So by engaging and re-engaging and reparenting that child, you're able um to harness that potential. So there's that. The next card is pleasure. Boop. Pleasure. Sorry, the ring light is like, I mean, what more can we say about tending to your inner child and pleasure, right? I mean, gosh, you see it in children, just the wonder and the joy and just seeing things through a child's eyes and seeing how they take pleasure in the smallest things is so potent and powerful. I know for me as a mom, as I mentioned, I have a 3-year-old and I have a little baby boy on the way at the time of this recording. You know, being able to witness my daughter just experience the world for the first time and experience things for the first time, how can we tap back into that? How can we re-engage with that? How can we find ways to find pleasure in maybe the simple things, right? I've talked about this in regards to self-care. Actually, I did an astrology conversation last month with my sister Maria, about you know self-care in terms of capitalism. It's like, oh, you need to buy this thing, or you need this, this XYZ wine or whatever. How can we engage with the things? How can we engage in the things that brought us pleasure as children? Was it art? Was it dancing? Was it just like bopping around? Was it doing something physical, right? Like climbing or running or skipping, or, you know, how can we re-engage with that? So we have that there. And then I think this last piece is really important. It's patience. Patience. What does that mean? What does that mean? I mentioned this. I created that workshop that I relaunched today like 2 years ago. And I'm still in this process. I'm still on this journey. It's sporadic, it's cyclical. It's not going to be it's not going to be done tomorrow. And I think that's what's so beautiful about this journey, just in terms of life, right? That things are going to come up, but even if the same things and the same patterns come up, it's not entirely the same, right? Because we've changed. We've had lived experiences. We've had things come up in our lives that's going to color and shape and give a different filter, a different lens to what is happening. So by having the patience with ourselves and knowing that this is an ongoing journey and that we're not going to be fixed in like a day, maybe not even a couple years, right? This is something that's going to take some time. And by giving ourselves patience and giving ourselves grace in that, I think is the greatest gift that we can give to ourselves. Trust me, listen, homegirl, I'm a recovering perfectionist myself. We want to get shit done. We want to be able to move past things fairly quickly. But that, with things like this, it's just not possible. We can't bypass and just like leapfrog into this deep healing that, there's a lot of work, and there's a lot of attention, there's a lot of care, there's a lot of of energy and time and space. And as y'all know, it's hard to give ourselves that space when we have so much else going on. So be patient with yourself and give yourself the space. So I thought that was really lovely. That was a nice way to kick things off. So a question that came up in regards to the workshop was in terms of, because when I brought forward this value tower, right? There's the talk about the kind of digging deep into the event, or if there's like a specific event that may trigger something, or may, something that's top of mind. What is that? What if there's a multitude of events that we want to focus on, which, yeah, absolutely. I'm sure for many of us, then myself included, there's more than one event that we may want to visit and revisit. I think here's the important thing. We don't even need to remember or re-explore or re-engage these certain events in our childhood lives entirely perfectly. It doesn't even have to be, and I mentioned this in the workshop, it doesn't even have to be like exactamundo. And what's fascinating is, again, when I had this conversation with my sister Maria and my cancer astrology convo last month, what was fascinating is she's my older sister and we lived in the same household. What she went through, or how she experienced things, or how she received things was different than I have, right? So we all have our perceptual lenses through which we experience and explore these things. I think what's the important piece of this, the event leads us then to the deeper exploration of what's that deeper rooted thing, right? The deeper rooted limiting belief, or that issue, or that challenge that we're trying to transmute and alchemize into that healing, right? So for example, maybe there was a singular instance that then ties to uh, a belief about not enoughness, or what have you, which then maybe ties into some like money stuff, right? So what's really powerful in this work is not so much feeling like, I got to pick a thing, or I got to pick an event, or I got to pick, a specific instance that's going to lead me down this path. That's just like scratching the surface. What's really important, and bringing in the work of Byron Katie, and like asking the questions, and like, again, it's digging deeper and deeper and deeper. And that's the work that's gonna take some time. That's why we need that patience with ourselves. But through that patience and grace, we can, have a little fun with it. We don't need to be so serious about it. It's inner child work for a reason, because that inner child is here to remind us that this work, this exploration, doesn't have to be so like serious and dry. We can have fun with it, you know? Recently I have been re-engaging with my 11-year-old self, who, when I was 11, I went through a traumatic event. And so I've been re-engaging with her. And honestly, it hasn't been like all like sadness. We've been hanging out at my grandma's old house in Philadelphia, eating yummy Filipino food and just like hanging out and like kicking it, right? Last year on Labor Day weekend, I got to go see the Backstreet Boys, and that was like inner teenage healing at its peak. I got to, belt Backstreet Boys songs, and I felt like I was back to my 15, 16-year-old self, right? So there are ways that we can engage in this that's pleasurable and fun, and more of a curiosity and experimentation, versus it doesn't always have to be a slog. When it comes to doing work on ourselves, and it comes to doing work on our healing, and on our soul, and on, just trying to find our authentic alignment and being ourselves, it doesn't have to be so, yeah, doom and gloom and like, dark night of the soul. There are going to be those moments for sure. I'm sure those things will happen, but it doesn't always have to be like that, right? We can have a lightness to it. So there's that. Anything else? Let's see if anything else has come through. If anybody has any questions, feel free to let me know. I'm just checking all the things, making sure I didn't get anything here. That came through. So I guess I was meant to say that. Um, so yeah, so that I think that in a nutshell, I think is some of the insights and the thoughts that I have in regards to how we can take this work and run with it. And if there's anything that I can do to guide on this process and on this journey, I'm here for you. Alrighty, Rue. So okay, so we got that. Feel free again if any questions come through. I'm like in three different places, but I'm keeping track of all the places. So if anything comes through, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I want to just quickly talk through the little announcement that I've been teasing. So if you haven't gotten the emails already, or if you haven't known this already, and I'll put this in the show notes here. I am part of this Entrepreneurs Rocket Full Toolkit giveaway. So what does this mean? This kind of ties back again, like, finding our alignment and whatnot. So an entrepreneur, as a conscious entrepreneur, as someone who's like making, doing all these woo things and making it work in a way that I'm able to build my business and stay true to myself. And, being an entrepreneur is being an entrepreneur is not easy. I'm realizing that. I'm a babypreneur. I started in 2020, and so I'm learning. I'm 3 years old, like my kiddo. She is the one that motivated me to go for it and take the leap and build this business. You know, Sometimes we need support and sometimes we need help, and that's another great thing to remember, is that the support and the help is it doesn't make us weak. It doesn't make us, you know, it doesn't mean that we're not good enough. There's people there to support us, and that's what it's all about. So I'm part of this amazing toolkit giveaway. So it's for folks who are business owners, who are conscious entrepreneurs, folks that are trying to learn about marketing and sales and all the things that they don't really teach us as we're starting out. We're trying to figure this shit out. So you get a bunch of different. Actually, I'm gonna pull it up here. Oh no, just kidding. I don't have it. I'll put it in the show notes. There is a bunch of amazing free gifts that y'all can tap into. Things like, you know, business growth tactics, visibility checklists. Your girl, I am giving away an astrology communication guide. So if you're interested in learning how to tap into what may be the best mode of communication for you, what is the best way to present yourself, as not just a business owner, but as a personal brand, let's be honest, because you are your brand, you're a walking embodiment of your brand. So based on your astrology, what does that look like? That's what I'm giving away. And then I think there's stuff on human design. So a lot of fancy, fun things for free. I just wanted to quickly put that out there as an announcement, because let's be honest, as I mentioned, I'm gonna have this baby anytime now. So I wanted to put that out there before that time comes and I'm not able to hop on live and make the announcement. So I was like, let me do a two for here. But yeah, so inner child healing. Let's heal ourselves so then we can step into our embodiment as badass entrepreneurs. And with the help of the Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel Toolkit giveaway, you can download all these free goodies, including a free communication guide using astrology, so that you can, based on your chart and based on what is, what your chart looks like and what your Mercury placement is, you'll be able to dive into that. So I think that's about it. Let me get a drink of water and I will wrap things up. We'll do a tarot pool, because why not? I think the Oracle pool was pretty good. So let's end with a little tarot pool to get us into. I was about to say get us into the weekend. It's definitely Tuesday, Rowena. I was like, oh, it's weekend. No, it's not. The days have been confusing, y'all, because your girl's been having contractions on and off for the past week or so, and I don't even know what day it is, but it's okay. I'm in a good energy, as you can see. I think because that wanted to come out. I think because I know that this time that this baby's coming soon. All right. Oh, I dropped it. Oh man. This is such this is such a good card. I feel like for inner child stuffs. Come on, Temperance. Ha ha. Yes, Temperance card. Oh gosh. So, what's so fascinating. And I love I first of all, let me just give a little shout out to Christy C. Road, Next World Tarot. This is the tarot deck that I use exclusively. I am very loyal to this deck. And I've pulled this card a lot. I pulled this card a lot, I think, in my own reflection of this inner, especially the inner teen healing. Let's be honest, man. I know we talk about inner child healing, but that inner teen healing, oh my goodness, there's so many things that come up when we think about our teenage selves and like how we toe this line of wanting to be independent, but how can we pull ourselves back? It's so funny because I was just chatting with my husband last night. We were talking about like our 20s. And like, man, that seems so long ago. And man, we were such different people then. Um, but I'm gonna read from the book here, and then we can chat about it. Working in tandem with land and sea, Temperance finds a sense of grounding when she listens to what nature asks of her. When it rains, we seek shelter. When it's sweltering, we drink water. When we hurt inside, we face the sun and breathe deeper and faster. Temperance learned balance and patience. Feisty and aggressive in her teen years, and constructively driven as an adult, she manifests her truest self without outside influence. When temperance is channeled, the kiss of a lover and the taste of a vice no longer activate your self worth. Letting go of the ego now becomes the most vital path to joy. Temperance loves herself, her broken bones, her healed parts, and her humanity. Temperance may still fall. She's a musician, a woman, and a survivor of violence. She works nights, lives days, sleeps when she can, and fights when she can't. She will break sometimes, as the next world is being built on a world that historically silences women. So Temperance paces herself into her next magical journey. Temperance asks you to forgive yourself with every break, but to try with every new morning. Yes. So again, this ties back to that patience card, right? That I pulled at the start of this. It's giving that patience, that grace, that forgiveness that yeah, we might fuck up. I was like, should I say yeah? We might fuck up. And that's fine. That's part of the process. That's part of the journey. And that we're human. This is part of it. And just having that patience and knowing that yeah, especially as teens, we're really that moment is like we're really finding ourselves, right? We're really discovering who we are outside of the realm of influence of our parents, of society, of our peers. And golly, how difficult is that? Even as adults, we're still trying to contend with that. How can I show up as my true and authentic self without, all of this crap all around telling me who I should be or what I should do or what I should be doing? you know so think about that temperance. Think about how can we get take a moment, take a beat, take a breath, take a step back and be able to disentangle ourselves from that egocentricness of like having to perform, which I know can be hard because we're in Leo season right now. But let's think about it, especially we're in Venus retrograde right now. So think about it in regards to how can I advocate myself in a way that feels good to me, that feels wholesome to me, that feels wholehearted for me? Because again, Leo rules the heart. So this heart chakra energy. And how can we manifest, as this says here, our truest selves? The astrology tied to temperance is Sagittarius. Sagittarius energy is fire energy, but this Sagittarius energy, this fire is the way that it manifests itself is through seeking knowledge and adventure and travel, right? So it's going outside of perhaps what we're comfortable with in order to truly find ourselves and to explore ourselves. And the planet tied to that is Jupiter. So that's the planet of expansion. How can we expand our horizons from a mental, from a physical, from an emotional, from a spiritual standpoint? How can we expand ourselves in all these directions, knowing that it's not going to be easy work, knowing that it's not going to be a perfect story. It's not a fairy tale. But but giving ourselves that grace and knowing that when we come out the other side, it's going to be for the better and we're going to be that mature known adult, right? Very similar, to the fool as well. We're embarking on this journey and it's going to be um it's going to be uncertain. And, we're just going to try and roll with it the best that we can. So, I think that's an awesome card for this work. Once again, if you missed the inner child healing workshop, hop onto my YouTube channel. There's an inner child healing playlist that should be there on the front page. I'll make sure because I know last time I put stuff in the wrong spot. So I will double check that there because if you go to that inner child healing workshop in the description, you get all the goodies. You get a workbook, you get you get 2 meditations, you get a Spotify playlist, you get a chance to hang out with me, whether it's an intuitive reading or, coaching session. All that stuffs is there. And then, as I mentioned, we have this Entrepreneur's Rocket Fuel Toolkit giveaway. So I'll put that in the description for this as well. So if that's something you're interested in and you want to really enhance your business, or you're thinking about a business, or you're thinking about just getting yourself out there and having visibility and learning sales and marketing. And as I mentioned, I have my astrology communication guide that's there for you as well. Whew. All righty. I think it's time to take a nap now. So thank you so much. If you're watching the replay, feel free to let me know if you have any questions. I posted in my IG stories and on Threads. I'm trying to hop on the Threads train. I don't know. Your girl's got to be on all the social media, just testing it out. If you have any questions about inner child healing in general, you know where to find me. I'm around, I guess, until I give birth to this child. But even then, I can't stay away for too long because I love this work. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope that these resources are helpful for you. I'm always here to receive any feedback, any ways that we can, thank you, any way that we can, help and support and guide each other. Yeah, I got you. So take care and I will talk to you soon.